Greetings, YouTube. I know that some people may find this shocking, particularly parents who may hear this. But just because you brought that person into the world doesn't give you the right to kill them. It's pretty much that simple. Just because they're your kid doesn't mean you get to starve them to death. Just because they're your kid, you don't get to let them bleed to death if they get cut. That's not how our society is framed. We have decided that there are limits to parental rights. That you may get to decide what television programs they read and what books they read and where they go on vacation or which school they attend and things like that, what they wear. But you don't get to decide whether they get to live or die. And if a parent does, in fact, attempt to do that by starving their child or letting their child bleed to death, or not get to the doctor because they have a broken limb, we arrest those people and we put them into prison because that's where they belong, because they're dangerous. Well, when it comes to medical neglect, it's no different. And if you deny your child access to the medical services that they need to live, that's medical neglect, child endangerment, and you will be arrested. Now, an adult who decides that they don't want life-saving medical treatments can do that. It's foolish, but they can do that. And there are people who will do that for religious reasons. Again, I may be a theist, but apparently my gods don't like fools. Because I'm smart enough to realize that the experts in the medical field know better about what I need than I do when it comes to like what medications I should be taking, or what treatments I may need if I'm lying there with a broken limb. Yes, I understand that, I'm going to let the expert fix that broken leg. Or in my case, I had some broken ribs once. Can't really do much for broken ribs, though. It kind of sucked. Painkillers, don't move while you sleep. Those are the recommendations. So when it comes to things like vaccines, yeah, listen to the experts. And if you're a parent and you think you know enough about medicine to decide that your child shouldn't get a vaccine, you're wrong. Period. I don't care if you have a medical degree. I don't care if you have multiple medical degrees. If you think your child should not be vaccinated, you are wrong. In this case, it really is that simple. And by extension, if you think your child shouldn't wear a mask in school, you are wrong. If you don't think that every single teacher that goes to that school should be vaccinated so that your child has the best chance of not catching COVID-19, you are wrong. You don't get to decide whether your child lives or dies. And intentionally exposing your child to around people who aren't vaccinated, and you know they're not vaccinated, and not insisting they wear masks, and not wearing masks yourself around them in public, you're putting your kid and your other people's kids in danger. Because if you send a child who can be vaccinated to a school and they aren't vaccinated, you have the chance of killing your child, but worse, killing the children of other people. And right now, the maskless plague rats in America, most of whom are adults, are killing other people's kids. Remember, conservatives in America are the party all about think of the children, except right now they're not thinking of the children. In fact, they're putting the children in danger. There are Republican governors attempting to prevent people from putting mask mandates in place in schools. They are intentionally attempting to kill children. And so far, they have been successful. And I want each and every one of those governors charged with manslaughter for each and every death in their state from the moment they said we shouldn't have mask mandates in schools. The death count should be tallied up, and they should be charged with manslaughter for each and every death in their state from that moment forward. If you're going to live by your words, if you're going to stand on your principles, even though they are repugnant and vile, then you should be held accountable to your principles and spend the rest of your life rotting in a cell. And to all the parents out there who think they know what's best for their kids when it comes to whether they should get the vaccine or that they themselves as their parents should or should not get the vaccine, who maybe think that maybe RNA and DNA do interact inside cells, you're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. You're listening to disinformation if you think that's a smart thing to do, to not be vaccinated. If you're more concerned about the vaccine, which has been given to hundreds of millions of people without hurting them, and just in the United States, we have sat back and watched over more than 600,000 people die of a disease that we could have prevented by doing things like wearing masks and socially distancing or staying home. And once the vaccine was available, getting vaccinated. All of those were pointless deaths, and all the kids right now being put at danger are being put at danger pointlessly. If you think you know better than Dr. Fauci, you're wrong. Stop trying to kill your children, and stop trying to kill the children of your neighbors.